Hey there guys, welcome to the video. Thank you for clicking on it today. We're going to be looking at a stasis build and it's going to be showcasing the exotic armor Hoarfrost Z. Now as you can see here, the exotic perk is Glacial Fortification. While you have a stasis suit equipped, your barricade becomes a wall of stasis crystals that slows nearby targets and obviously gives some benefits to yourself and your allies, including weapon speed, reload speed, and stability range, things like that. So nice to be behind this barricade, but the thing with this build is you're not going to be standing behind it for too long. It is a good defensive item to have, but you can be quite on the forefront. You can be pretty destructive with this thing, and we're going to be having a look at a few little bits of gameplay later on today about how that can occur. We're going to look at the Stasis subclass first. So we're going to be running a very standard rally barricade, strafe lift, the shiver strike, and the glacial grenade. Now the glacier grenade it kind of works in tandem with Hoarfrost, and we're going to look at that later. Moving on to our aspects, we're going to have Tectonic Harvest. Now in terms of aspects, guys, I really can't recommend these two enough. So Tectonic Harvest and the Diamond Lance, I really can't move away from these two. Unless you're really running Blast Wave Striders, that's probably when you'd sort of go into Howl of the Storm and Cryoclasm, but realistically, every other build you're going to see, I would be expecting to see these two aspects. So Tectonic Harvest, shattering stasis crystal or frozen target creates a shard. This shard grants melee energy, and when it's picked up by you or your allies. So the little stasis shards are available to your teammates as well. So a really good pickup to have. It'll benefit your teammates quite well. And you can't really get that same aspect with the other two aspects, I should say. The Diamond Lance, when you shatter or defeat a target with a stasis ability or weapon to create a stasis lance. And obviously you can either throw it as an indirect item or you can slam it into the ground. Now, because we'll be running some stasis weapons, you're going to be seeing these lances absolutely everywhere, guys. They're going to be popping up all over the joint. They give you a lot of utility as well. Running over to our fragments now. This one, always going to have it. The benefits that you get, the 10 plus to health and super, are really nice to have, but it means you don't have to go running around trying to pick up these shards. They will slowly move over to your position, and you've got no dramas about picking them up and having to sort of run all over the battlefield going to pick these items up. We're running Whisper of Fissures, increases the damage and size of the burst of these stasis crystals. Yeah, look, this one as well, you're getting the full explosive amount out of your crystal, and there's going to be so many crystals on the battlefield. You're going to be wiping out massive groups of enemies, so really, really good fragment to have. Change it up a bit, so we're going to have Whisper of Bonds. Defeating frozen targets generates an orb of power. Now, this is more because I found that it was just so many crystals on the field that would smash them up, and frozen targets and stuff like that. It really just seemed beneficial to have. And in fire team and even solo ops, we're generating over 50, 60, sometimes 70 orbs per run, and it really helps out. So you get your super back nice and quick. Your teammates get the benefit as well. And along with those aspects of the build, with the Orb of Power, when you generate them, that'll be part of the build as well. But you get more benefits out of Orb of Power being on the ground as well. So moving on to our next one, I'm going to have Whisper of Shards, shattering a stasis crystal, temporarily boost your grenade recharge rate. Now, with the amount of crystals, again, that will be shattering, you're constantly going to have your grenade up within about 5 seconds so you throw it, smash all the crystals up, and by the time you look back down at the bar, it's almost regenerated. So yeah, I'm only running what you can see there, a grenade level of 87. There are other parts of the build as well that will benefit this and boost it up, but we'll get to that. Just sort of shows that you don't need 100 grenade to really get this thing moving. Last fragment's going to be Whisper of Rending. So primary ammo weapons do increase target damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. So that's going to get our crystals and frozen targets exploding a lot quicker. Now, primary weapons, as in this spot here, so it's going to be the Yaravit again. You could be using the Seraphine Haze. So this one I've got does have the Crystalline Corpse Bloom, which is really good, but in the higher level difficulty activities, it is a little bit harder to get off. And as you can see here, the magazine size, we've only got 32 happening, and on the Yaravet, we've got 41. And you could actually bump that up to, I think it's 45. So yeah, a lot more ammo in the bank for the Yaravet. And still use this, just find something that's got like a bigger mag on it. And yeah, look, let me know how you go, because I'm really enjoying Yaravet. You can get this weapon from Banshee. I believe he's got it at the moment. I don't know what the role is, but you know, if you buy them enough times, you might end up with a Headstone Rewind, and I can't recommend it enough. It is an absolute monster of a gun. Moving on to our energy weapon. So, just so I've got a anti-barrier weapon, I've got this one here. So this was actually from, I think it was from the Vault of Glass a number of seasons ago. It's probably still a role you can get, but yeah, look, it's nothing special. It doesn't have, you can have a look at it now. It doesn't have any secondary sort of perks or anything like that, but Firefly, along with Wellspring, you know, kills with this weapon generate ability energy, so that's pretty good to have. And that'll top up, you know, whatever ability needs a bit of energy to get it going again. But again, sort of just pop whatever you feel like you can chuck in there. You might want to run an unstoppable weapon as well. Up to yourselves. Next one we're going to have is obviously Salvation's Grip. Now you could probably run Dragon's Breath, or I've got a Stasis Grenade Launcher here too. You can run something like that, but realistically something just to get a little more stasis damage off. Move over to our armor. So our armor, going to be running Thermodynamic Siphon, which is part of that artifact, so we're going to have a look at that in a sec. So I'm going to run triple of that. The arms is going to be the 1 for the melee font and 2 for the grenade font. So grenade font, when you have a orb of power, an armor charge. When you have an armor charge, you're going to gain some points in your grenade stats. So you can have up to 3, I think it's 3 grenade fonts. For each font, it's 20 points. So in this instance, if I had an orb of power which gave me an armor charge, I'd be gaining 40 grenade stats, so I'd be up to 127. And if you actually have 3, you only get a maximum benefit of 50 points. So I'm just running 2 for that to boost it up. And the melee font there, obviously we're going to get 20 for that one when we have an armor charge. Now our chest piece, so obviously to get our armor charge always up, and what's working alongside just picking up orbs of power, we're going to be increasing our armor charge by 1, just so we've always got a little bit of armor charge happening, and we're going to be running that alongside stasis ammo generation, so increasing the ammo generation of stasis weapons, and that's going to be for Salvation's Grip, just so I've got enough ammo there. Alright, so moving on to our mods in the legs, so we're going to be running stacks on stacks. Pick up an orb of power grants you 1 additional stack of armor charge. So again, this works hand in hand with our orb of power pickups, fragments, and yeah, obviously weapon perks as well. So we're going to have this constant stream of armor charge occurring, which is going to be really handy. And then the other 2 here, we're going to have Orbs of Restoration. Now, we don't quite have enough for Absolution, which would probably be the better pickup, but I'd like to run 2 of these. So picking up an Orb Power grants a small amount of energy to your ability with the least energy. So, similar to Absolution, it's just going to top up the energy of the ability that's below us, basically. Alright, and for our mark, going to be looking at Time Dilation, Jewel of those, and I think I've said previously that the more you have of these, the slower that the armor charge is going to disappear. So with the 2 we've got here, I think the decay rate is 16 seconds per armor charge, so it's quite a long time, and you'll be picking up orbs of power in that time as well. Last one there is Powerful Attraction. Now the amount of times that we'll be putting down the barricade, that's obviously going to be a huge benefit, and whenever you pick up the orb of power, you're going to be refilling your armor charge and getting, building up your super as well. So yeah, look, constant occurrence of that happening. Yeah, just for the other fact, pretty run-of-the-mill. So we're running obviously anti-barrier scouts and overloads. weapons there. Now, like I said, you can run an unstoppable hand cannon or whatever. Sniper doesn't really seem to be too popular at the moment, but you know, you can run that if you need to. Second column here, we're going to be running Flame, Fiber, and Freeze. So that's going to give us the thermodynamic siphon on the orbs of power generating via stasis and solar weapons. Now, in the third row, we're going to be running one with Frost. While Frost Armor is active, stasis weapons gain increased reload speed and stability. So that's basically going to be always up when we're in the heat of battle. Our third column, we're going to be looking at Fever and Chill. Pretty standard stuff here. Rapid precision hits with solar weapons. Now, obviously, because I'm using a scout, that's going to be fairly easy to do. And then rapid precision hits with stasis weapons grant frost armor. So again, if you've got a lot more bullets in your SMG, you're going to have the ability to get more precision hits. So really beneficial. Frost Renewal, while we have Frost Armor, taking critical damage, releases a burst. So that's similar to the burst that you get from Icefall Mantle. And it will freeze enemies around you. So really good to get out. It's a bit of a get out of jail free card. Going to move on to the fourth column now. We're going to be looking at Cauterized Darkness. So stasis or strand debuff non-boss combatants take increased solar damage. So because we're going to be slapping down so many grenades, so many crystals, you know, if you are running a solar weapon in your energy slot, that's going to be really handy to have. Elemental Daze, just because there's not really much else in the selections of this column. And yeah, look, you're running two different elements, so you'll be able to pop off with a explosion against the champion, and then elemental coalescence. So you're going to be picking up elemental pickups matching your super. So obviously, again, stasis shards, get that melee ability energy going. Last column we're going to be running is Shield Crush. So while you have frost armor, your melee recharges faster. And while you are radiant, your grenade charges faster. So you can interchange those two with this build, and you can really get your melee and grenade coming back very quickly. You'll be seeing in the gameplay that we've got on offer in a sec that, yeah, look, these abilities come back very, very quickly. And it is in -30 gameplay as well. So yeah, look, it's pretty reputable and pretty reliable on getting all these items back. Last one we've got is Elemental Overdrive. Actually picked the right one this time. So I think this is the first artifact selection where I've had everything correct. I didn't screw up one. So picking up an Elemental pickup grants increased damage to weapons of the same element. So you'll be picking up a ton of shards. You might be seeing fire sprites with your solar weapons as well. But that's going to increase those elements of the weapons. So well, overall, guys, look, a little bit similar to the Icefall Mantle build. You're not getting the health regen on stasis kills, but you are getting huge amounts of frost armor constantly. And with the ability to run the melee and grenade font, you're going to be getting those back all the time. And yeah, look, I mean, it really just sort of speaks for itself. Give it a go. I should mention as well, we're running the armor set bonus, the 2 set of the Bushido and the smoke jumper again, just because the rapidly decaying damage reduction for smoke jumper is a 4-second bonus, starts at 43%, tapers off to about 16, and it's a huge amount. On top of your frost armor, you're very, very much unkillable. And if you're switching between your two weapons, even with Salvation's Grip, you'll be generating health for yourself as well. So really, really good to be running these two sets. There might be some other ones out there. I don't really sort of play around with these too much. These are kind of my go-to, and they help out immensely. But if you've got any other suggestions there, do let me know. But that's going to be it. I'm going to leave you with some gameplay. And yeah, look, if you do end up using this build, come back to me. Let me know how you go with it. Obviously, offer up some suggestions. There's always room for improvement on these builds. But otherwise, thanks for having a look, guys. Okay, we'll see you in the next one.